Hello and welcome to the Off Angle Podcast, where two dudes take a look at movies as well as life in general from a slightly different perspective. I'm one of the hosts, Tyler, and I'm here just to give you a quick intro before we get into the first episode of the podcast. Me and Tony have been best friends for years now. It's been about 2 decades now we've known each other. And so we decided to start a podcast about movies and things that we enjoy because that's what people do in the year 2023. So before we get into it, I just want to let you know that this is going to be a mashup of 2 different episodes that we recorded. We did a first episode before we even came up with a name, just kind of figuring out the logistics of the podcast, getting a feel for how this would even go. And then we took a break, came up with the name, and came back and filmed another episode. But since we're still kind of finding our footing with these 2 first episodes, rather than subject you to 2 mediocre episodes while we're still finding the flow of things, I decided to trim them both up and combine them into one episode that flows a little better. So if you notice any weird topic changes, or if you're watching the video version of this podcast and notice the lighting changes halfway through, that is why. But other than that, this is just going to be a podcast where I talk to one of my best friends about movies and all the other things that we enjoy. So stick around, enjoy the ride, and let's hop into episode 1. Welcome. This is essentially episode 0 of the currently unnamed podcast.
I think we might be in the negatives if that's possible.
I don't think this one won't be going. This is the podcast to figure out the podcast.
Yes. Has that been done? Has there been a podcast about podcasting? Because I feel like
maybe by episode 100 we've figured out the podcast. They get to take that journey with
Every
us.
10 episodes we do an episode about podcasting to see what we find.
It's very meta. Yeah. I like that. Because basically we want it to be a movie podcast, or at least primarily. That's the primary. Movies. We do like. It's also something we can consume in a reasonable amount of time, as opposed to playing a game every week or whatever. So that's fine. But I don't want to, block us out from talking about other things we enjoy. So I figured, either the first third or first half is just whatever we want to discuss, whether it's just stuff we've done, music that came out, games, whatever. And then the second half or 2/3 is talking about movies, either films, movie news, trailer that came out, something we want to discuss. And then I figured every time we do it, whenever we do it, either you can suggest something or I can suggest something, or we both go see a new movie, or and we discuss it.
Yeah.
And and then we can figure out logistics later on. Like I said, essentially this is just going to start as just clips to see if anyone cares. I'm sure people in my Discord will maybe care.
People care. You just got to make them care. We got to develop some drama, get them interested, okay?
Yeah, I figure one of us can have just an absolutely unruly personality that has the most out-of-pocket takes on everything. I'm just going to start breaking stuff. Yeah. I mean, we already did, to be fair, before we even started the podcast. The most important thing, obviously, is the name of the podcast. It's very important. It pretty much makes or break whether people want to listen to it. So I came up with plenty of suggestions. So I'm going to shoot these names at you. Some of them have little, like a tagline or something. Yeah. Just get your raw, unfiltered opinions. Can
you give me a jingle too?
For each one?
Yeah.
I'll try my best.
At least when one strikes you,
Yeah. Okay. The first one, I'm still going to share it with you because I was mad. It was one of the first ones I come up with. I was like, this is good, but it was already taken, of course. And I don't even think it's active anymore, but that's how it is. And they got a Twitter. They got
we're used to that.
Yeah. And it was The Real Boys, REEL, The Real Boys, where the real discuss the real. Like the REAL.
Which one are we? Are we the real?
It could change every episode. Yeah. So that, unfortunately, was taken because, we always refer to ourselves as boys.
How about the realer boys?
Oh,
the realist
just update them.
Boys.
Just one up them just slightly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll put that in the potential. So I'll put a little asterisk. The next one is the Oscars, were 2 unqualified boys.
Hold on. I'm gonna pretend like I just came across that name, and I have to figure out what the hell that was supposed to be. The Oscars.
Yeah.
I have no clue. I understand the Oscars part.
Yeah.
A gur is like, are we really angry? Are we really mad?
Yes. So it's where 2 unqualified boys angrily discuss the world's best movies. Okay. So we will have to kind of change our personas a little bit, but we're going to have to be angry all the time.
That's reasonable.
That's the Oscars.
Okay.
Third one, it's just for us, a little throwback. It's Bulletproof Movies. BPM.
Yeah, I feel like they're going to think that we're going to talk about guns or something.
Only action movies. Two boys breaking down films shot for shot. And in parentheses, and taking no damage. Because we're bulletproof. Obviously.
Now we're talking.
Of course, we have the So Good podcast. Got to throw it in as a suggestion. This podcast is so good.
So good.
Similar to Real Boys, we have the For Real Friends.
Are those still a thing? Or are we going to run into illegal?
I mean, it's spelled differently.
How is it spelled differently? Oh, because it's not. It's Forreel instead of Furreal.
Yes. I mean, it could still be Fur, but it's Reel. Yeah.
I feel like we'd have to spell it out every time we start.
Yes.
This is the For Real.
RE
with an O.
Yeah. And have no sort of stuffed animals anywhere in the shot. Next is, again, I'll bounce it off. You see if you understand. It's called Striptease.
Strip. I mean, I feel like it could be like the other one where you get naked, but
Yeah, I mean, I think we only see waist up on the video, so it should be fine.
That would be a waste of content.
Yeah, well, we got like a Patreon or something.
True.
Yeah.
There's another set of cameras beneath the table.
Yeah.
So, subscribe to see the behind the scenes. Tease is got to be the tease.
Yeah, just the letter T.
Strip, like a film strip?
Yeah.
Is that really where we're at?
Yeah.
Okay.
Two T's in tease and please. I just like the E's.
How are we going to tease people? What does that mean?
Well, and please them. We're going to tease. Okay. I don't know. That's just
what if one of us isn't wearing a t-shirt? What if I roll up in a sweater? What are you going to do?
That's against the rules. Okay. You can't do that. Okay. It's in the name. That's how we tease. A lot of
these are very limiting. Like,
all right. Next up we got. Sorry. Next up we got erectorial debut.
Okay. I mean, that one's pretty obvious, at least from a listener perspective.
Who knew discussing films could be so hard?
No. I mean, that fits with the last one pretty good if we're teasing and pleasing.
Yeah, these all go hand in hand. We could have a different name each podcast if we wanted. Only Films, an incredibly revealing podcast about two dudes and their movies.
So it's like...
Well, it's not really our movies,
it's
but...
OnlyFans, but for movies.
Yes, exactly. Okay. You got it. And again, there could be a nudity element if we wanted.
I'm seeing a pattern in these. I feel like a lot of them have a nudity element.
I was literally just jogging. I was taking a run, and just another one would pop into my head. I had to stop. That's a good
Write it down.
Okay. Keep running. Okay. That's, my juices are flowing when I'm running, as are half of these names. Next
Your
is
erectorial juices are really flowing.
This one isn't really... Oh, no, I guess it's kind of movie related. It's deleted memes.
Deleted memes. I mean, yeah, I that's kind of tangentially movie related.
Yeah, well, deleted scenes is what I was thinking. Deleted scenes.
Yeah. What are we gonna talk about? Memes? Are we the memes? Why are we deleted? Why are we not making the cut?
Or
I feel like what it should be is we have the show and then we have like the full cut, which is the deleted memes.
Ah, okay. See? There you go.
It's like a secondary show.
Yeah, like the extended version. Yeah, okay. Next one. This one's not bad. It's called Bogus Features. Every film deserves some bogus material.
They're either sexual or they're implying that we're bad.
Well, all right, this one ties back into an earlier one. We had Oscars. Now we've got Cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger. Why are we mad?
I was just trying to think of puns, okay?
How about talk about how good and how cool we are?
Okay. All right, this one's called Flex Machina.
That's just the singular movie. Are we just going to talk about that movie
just
forever?
Okay. Just that one. That's it. Or the Rotten Tomato Hose.
I could have at least put bros. It would have made 1%
Rotten Tomato
more
Bros.
sense.
Okay. It just didn't roll off the tongue as well. I don't think it either roll off the tongue.
No. No.
So there's IMAX. This one is WeMax because we do it together.
Yo. That's
WeMax.
insane.
Pretty good. This one's called Movie Talk, but it's spelled with 2 O's. And we only talk about movies that feature a cow in it somewhere. Even just a clip. Even just a painting of a cow.
Okay.
Movie Talk. Yeah.
Okay.
So
I like the animal theme. It's better than like.
Yeah. And I think it would help us uncover some gems and realize like just how many movies actually have cows in them in some way, you know?
Can you name like one?
Back at the Barnyard.
Okay, name 2.
That one Disney Channel movie with the sisters.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I have no idea what it is.
And they
though.
work and they
They're in
milk.
the cheese factory or something.
Yep. There's got to be a cow in there. Or there's at least dairy products.
Yeah.
Or maybe we extend it to anything that has a byproduct of a cow. So any cheese, any milk.
A cheese movie, yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of cheese
And again, it
movies.
doesn't have to center around cows or cheese.
Okay,
Just
I think
featured.
that's definitely enough content for
Yeah.
a whole podcast. Yeah.
Exactly. Review crew. Although it's 2 people a crew, I don't know. I guess you could be a crew with 2 people. Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Crewmates.
You're right. The Guy Tyrion collection.
It's good. I mean, I think a lot of these are going to have some copyright issues.
Yeah. This one's more so if for like we're queens, right? This is the end credit queens. Instead of end credit scenes, we're the end credit queens.
I think all of
Food
these
for
could
thought.
be podcasts, honestly. It's pretty easy. You just take a movie-related word and you put in some gendered language of some kind, and you have a podcast title.
It's maybe even I'm thinking too hard about it, you know? This one is just because of that one role that it's a crew member who serves as the chief assistant to either a gaffer or key grip. The best boy.
The best
And we're the
boys.
best boys.
Okay, yeah.
So probably taken or hard to find if you just Googled best boys, but it's so perfect for us. Another one that kind of makes it sound like you don't want to listen to the podcast, but storyboard, but it's spelled like you're bored.
Like
Yeah.
we're bored.
So that, you know, maybe not the most exciting, but another pun. So this one, I'm going to have to ask you a question. I'm going to see if you can figure out the name. So what would you call if, you know, we are male people who will never stop a movie like in the middle. Like we got to see it all the way through. We don't stop the movie. We're males who will not stop a movie. What would be a simple way of saying that? Exactly.
Full cut buds.
Close. It was men no pause. Because men no men no pause.
Yeah, but that's
podcast.
not really a male. Okay, never. Okay,
All right.
We don't have to worry about it. Please
This is
continue.
my last one. I know it's hard to
What a shame.
through all of
I was
them.
hoping they would never end.
But this might be the one that would appeal to you most, maybe. At least it kind of checks all the boxes. This one's called Ticket Studs.
I like it. I like it.
Like ticket stub, but it makes us seem
Ticket
good
stub.
for once.
Yeah, true.
Not
I like
insulting
it.
us.
I like it.
I don't know if it's already taken, but at least it's a plausible.
Ticket studs.
Yeah.
Okay.
The ticket studs. I don't know what the tagline. I didn't come up with a tagline, but it's possible. I'll Google it later.
I don't know what else you could say about stubs. You know, because what we're talking about, a ticket stub. What are you gonna say about that? What do you think about when I say ticket stub?
I don't like the word stub.
Yeah, me neither.
I mean,
what can you say about it? It's literally the part that you keep after the main part is cut off.
yeah. I mean, I used to collect them. Now everything's just digital. You have to go out of your way to get a physical ticket stub now, and it's
I have a collection of screenshots on my phone.
yeah. That's not you print them
Alamo
out.
tickets.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like it's a dying thing that people used to do. I have an old collection of stuff, but
Me too, except all the ink is faded off of all of them.
yeah, you gotta really decipher it. It's hard.
I feel like we should make a business that makes fake tickets for like newer movies for specifically that purpose. Like you take a movie, let's say Oppenheimer, okay, and it's like, oh, I went to see Oppenheimer on the first day, the first showing. How do you show that to people? How do you show it off? We make a little printout, a little actual ticket, and it's like really nice. It could be a little weathered, spicy, and then we say, it's got some texture. It's got some texture, and we sell those, and people can make a collection. Be like, oh look, see, I was there.
Yeah, little collectibles. Like you have to be
tickets.
there on the first day.
Yeah,
We're gonna do that with all the chain. We're gonna do that with all the movie chains.
Every movie that comes out.
Every single one.
Every single one.
Okay.
For every showing, because it has to have the time that you saw it.
Yeah. Right.
And we could do it for old movies too, but like make it really old looking. Like
oh yeah.
This is when I saw Back to the Future 1.
They're somehow themed to the movie, if possible. You could have like futuristic ones.
Singed like it went in the DeLorean and got burned.
Yeah, or like it's like bloodstained if it's like a horror movie or something. Yeah,
and then you frame them.
I mean, as a person that enjoys going to the movies, I would do that. I mean, I liked collecting the ticket stubs. I like collecting my reviews. Having some sort of memorabilia to hang up would be awesome.
Movies don't have memorabilia. I don't understand why.
Yeah, I mean, you could buy like a poster or something, but not like going to the movies.
Like I know you buy all the Blu-rays, but like, what do you do?
Yeah.
What else can you do? I mean,
most movie posters are bad.
Yeah, true.
It's usually
you have to see somebody else's redesign of. Could have been cool if they did it like this.
You got to find it on Etsy of someone that's actually talented and creative who made one.
Sucks.
Yeah. Well, that's where we come in, baby.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I'll get rid of most of those, but
there were some good ones and there were some workable ones in there.
Yeah. It's a start.
A lot of garbage.
Hey,
but that's okay.
Well, I mean, the good thing with this is, especially compared to some of the other things that we do in terms of churning it out, like the hardest part is getting together and making it happen, because there's like tools that automatically edit podcasts for you at this point, and like obviously recording is just fun,
just chilling.
So it's very easy to churn them out, and again, especially if we are within close proximity or the same household, it'll be very easy to just sit down. We watch a movie, sit down for an hour and talk. So
and we got to do
that being an issue.
I told you about this. We got to do ones where in the car.
Yeah, I mean
after the movie, that's where the best conversations happen. Baby.
Exactly. There's so much wiggle room for fun stuff. And again, since it's like even if we weren't recording, we would want to do this. We like to just talk. So this is just for us. Like I said when I pitched it, I said this is almost just an excuse to just give us a reason to talk unfiltered,
I think we should call it wiggle room. This could be the wiggle room. Yeah, it doesn't relate to movies or boys.
I mean, it doesn't
friends.
Have to relate to the premise. Podcasts have all kinds of names. That's fine.
Yeah, you're right.
As a movie podcast, I think the first thing, especially because I don't really know for you, especially, is discussing what are our favorite movies or some of our favorite movies. Because, like, obviously, our tastes
we know what our favorite,
but I don't think I've ever heard. Obviously, we agree on a lot of things in terms of our ratings and things like that. We like a lot of same movies, but I don't think I've ever heard you say like, "This is my favorite movie" or "This is in my top 5" or whatever. I don't think I've ever heard you like explicitly rank a movie in that way. I know, like, oh, we both gave this a 9 or whatever. So I don't know if you have a list in any way off the top of your head, or
how many Land Before Time movies are there?
Like 12. I don't know.
Top 12 right there, baby.
How many Land Before Times? 14? One came out in 2016.
What? People still watching those, I guess.
Yeah, The Land Before Time, Journey of the Brave. There you go.
Watching all those movies would be a Journey of the Brave.
Yeah, well, at least we know what the first episode of the podcast will be. We'll watch along.
I don't know about this whole podcast thing. I don't know if it's for me. Let me actually think. I mean,
like, do you have a? And again, I'm sure it changes, but do you have like when I say what's your favorite? Like, if someone, I'm sure you've been asked, what's your favorite movie?
Top 2, probably in order that I know off the top of my head for sure. It's Everything Everywhere,
Okay.
Used to be 2. I think it's number 1 at this point. It just is.
Okay.
Because at first it was like you got to let it simmer.
Yeah.
You know, but now I've seen it like 4 times, and it's like
yeah,
it's just better every time I see it. So it's number 1. Then Eternal Sunshine, probably.
Okay.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Oh yeah, don't want to get it confused.
Apart from all the other Eternal Sunshine movies, of course. Just because it's really good and I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it once. It's on my list of like things I need to go back to because there's a lot of things that I knew I liked, or maybe things I wasn't sure if I liked, and now that I've seen more movies, I want to go back and rewatch them. Because I don't remember when I saw it, but it was a long time ago. It's fairly old, but I remember liking it. I don't know what I gave it, but I would need to check it out. It's
good. It's got the whole dreamy, weird stuff and like weird reality things, and Jim Carrey very rarely actually doing a relatively dramatic role and like killing it. Other than that, I don't know. I have to think about it. I mean, obviously, some of like the classics that would probably be up there. I just don't know what order I'd put them. Obviously, we got the Prestige is up there somewhere. Off the top of my head, maybe Arrival.
What's like is there something in general that puts a movie closer to the top for you? Like, is there just what's like the criteria? What separates like this is a 10 out of 10?
Of course, there's the rewatch factor, right? If you feel like the movie is like kind of a few steps ahead of you at all times, I feel like that's kind of like, it's taking you somewhere. You're not like, oh, okay, I know what's gonna happen. I know what's here. It's all like whatever. It's like it's pulling you along, and then you watch it the second time, and you understand more of what the person's vision was, and you understand more, and you understand more.
Yeah.
So I know it's kind of like a cookie cutter boilerplate answer, but.
No, I mean, I agree, because I've always said and probably will always say, just because it's held the status for so long, is that The Prestige is my favorite movie. Not because it's necessarily the best movie I've ever seen, but there's a spider.
Oh, God. Why?
I need my spider killing shoe.
This man has a spider killing shoe. That's where we're at.
He's going. Come out here.
Oh. Hiya! Woo! Woo! Thank you for letting me know before it was actually on my leg.
That would have been better content, though.
I mean, I think it was already probably a decent.
Just for the record, I didn't kill it. I don't kill anything. We saved it. We put it outside. The slamming was the sound of me closing the lid on its new home that I put it in, and I've now adopted it because I love spiders. Anyway, so The Prestige, because I think, if memory serves me correctly, because I don't remember when we first watched it, but I want to say, I think when we saw it, we watched it again maybe not that same day, but I think you stayed at my house for a day or two. We watched it, and I think the next day we watched it again.
Probably.
I think.
Would not be surprised at all.
And it was the first movie that I really recall where it rewarded you for watching it again. And so that's kind of a lot of the criteria for movies I like now is movies that have deeper meaning that maybe you don't pick up on the first time because, again, like you said, it's rewarding to watch it again. You want to rewatch it or show it to somebody else to see how they react and so you can discuss it.
See what they take from it.
And that was kind of the first movie that I saw that did that, and then also, made me appreciate that kind of thing and made me realize like, oh, there's more to movies than just like a one-time spectacle. Hour and 30 minutes, eat my popcorn, and then go about my day. Like I actually think about these things and like, when he said that meant this. Oh, that's so So that's always been the top, and because not like hipster or anything, but very little people know of The Prestige unless like they're movie people, I guess. Like it's not a commonly every single person I've met hasn't heard of it or at least hasn't seen it.
Yep.
So it's always one I can guarantee like I can show them.
I feel like it doesn't scream out that it's a good movie. It's kind of like the title and the the cover and everything. It looks kind of like old timey. It looks like it might be a slow, boring movie of just like drama, which I mean it kind of is, but it's also like really good and there's a lot of cool stuff going on. Yeah, and it's also because I very rarely like period pieces or like older movies set in an older time, unless there is some sort of extra elements. Which not that this doesn't have that, but it's only like a small percentage of it, really. Like it's not the reason I like it. So just the fact that I liked it in spite of that adds bonus points. But yeah, it's good to rewatch. It's got
lots of things that you can pick up the second or third time. And again, it's something great to show people because they haven't seen it, most likely.
It's a movie about magic, and it's really cool.
Yeah, so watch The Prestige. So that'll probably always be my favorite for those reasons. But it was funny because, like I said, I've shown it to like pretty much everyone that I can that hasn't seen it. But I was showing it with Ashley.
Yep.
And like it gets to the point, I'm not spoiling anything, but it gets to the point before he says abracadabra near the end. And like before he said it, and she knew that was what he's gonna say, and she said it, and she was like, "So like, yeah, he said it."
Oh god,
it was funny, but yeah, it's just good. It's good. 10 out of 10 for sure. I'm just in general going through my list right now because I think I mentioned it where I've seen enough movies now where I think I'm too hard on things, or I feel like I judge things based on how others will feel about my rating. Where it's like, he gave
rather
that a
than
10?
Your actual enjoyment, yeah.
Yeah, and I realized, like, I only gave, like, 2 movies a 10. And I'm like, well, what is my 10 then? Like, there's so many movies that I've really enjoyed. Like, those should be 10s too, you know?
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to slowly push things up. So, like
what's a 10 that wasn't a 10 that's now a 10?
I put Ex Machina as a 10. It was a 9. Now it's a 10. The Matrix is a 10. The original Matrix.
Okay.
Parasite, I consider a 10. Everything Everywhere, of course, is 10. The Dark Knight is 10.
Wait, what about the part in The Dark Knight when Harvey Dent is in the hospital bed? Okay.
Okay.
He's got his face is all screwed up. It's all, it's all melting off his face. And the Joker comes in, and he's dressed as a nurse.
Yeah.
And he's like looking at him, and Harvey Dent's chilling. Then he takes off his tiny surgical mask, and then Harvey's like, "The Joker!"
Well, it's like Superman. You wear the sunglasses. All of a sudden, that's Clark Kent, bro. Okay. That's just a slightly pasty, not great at makeup
just
nurse.
Yeah, with green hair,
and you got half it, like his eyeballs half out of his socket.
I guess he does.
His
have
vision's
one
probably
eyeball.
slightly impaired.
Fair.
Okay. Which side was on the side with?
It was the good side. It was the good side.
All right. Well, maybe there's no excuse. Well, depth percent. I don't know, but that's pretty bad.
Do you need 2 eyes for color perception? I don't think so.
Do we know he's not colorblind?
Maybe.
I don't know. He didn't want to be judgmental. Well, because you got to assume, why would the Joker be dressed up as a nurse? Right. Like, why wouldn't he just show up? So he's like in his head, like, maybe they're a fan of the Joker.
He's just that nice of a guy.
Is it October 31st? Are they dressed up?
Is that a thing in the Batman universe? People dress up as the Joker for Halloween? It feels kind of...
I don't know. Maybe not.
It's dark.
Yeah, I guess we don't really dress up as like serial killers very often.
Maybe some people do.
Some people, yeah. Other serial killers.
That doesn't knock it down a point.
Yeah.
If anything, it knocks it up a point.
Because it's funny. It's just funny. You got to inject those odd moments of humor. I also want to know. I want to know what my biggest disparity in like the general populace versus what I like. Because I, of course, I have guilty pleasures, but generally, I feel like I'm within a point or two of what most people like.
I want to know what your lowest ratings are more than your highest rating. I know what I could probably name 90% of your highest. I want to know what your like 3s and 4s.
I don't often rank them because
you don't watch them.
Yeah, and because most of them I went back to like I didn't watch them again, but just my childhood movies. I was just like, well, that's probably actually garbage. Because let's see. Well, to tie it back to my things, I put Barnyard at a 3. Oh, one of them.
This is a Barnyard podcast.
It's all coming around.
Planted the seed.
Which I don't think anyone would disagree with this. I could maybe even do it lower, but there's no way in hell I'm going to rewatch it. But movie 43 is a 3 for me.
Okay.
Hall Pass.
Oh, yeah. I remember Hall Pass. Okay, yeah. That's pretty bad.
Which is not for me. I mean, it's got a 6 on it. I don't know.
It's got a what?
It's got a 6.
Yeah, well, I mean, 5. That's a pretty big disparity.
Yeah. I mean, well, the thing with me is like comedies in general, I don't know how to rank them. Like, I think like the best comedy in the world could still only be like an 8 to me.
Yeah, definitely.
I think because I love sitcoms. I like, some of my favorite shows are like The Office and stuff. But I think it's because there's those moments of
not
growing and like people get married and there's like tear jerking moments and blah blah. Not that you can't have that in a movie, but it needs to have like a longer
It can't just be a
thing.
comedy. It has to have an element of comedy.
Yeah,
and other elements of other things.
But just straight, like I enjoy comedies.
Yeah.
I'll watch comedies. There's no problem. Like I don't dislike them, but they don't feel like movies like cinematic. There's not much to them other than just like I had a good time. I laughed. You know, it was enjoyable.
Right.
And I mean they're good for rewatching too. But
because I think the movie has to take itself seriously for you to take it seriously.
Yeah, and also think just comedies. Maybe like they're a certain joke or something, but they don't. I don't think about them after.
Yeah.
They don't really stick with me. There might be a scene that I quote and it's funny, and you're like, oh, remember that scene in Step Brothers when the bunk beds fell? It was so funny, dude. And his balls were on the drum set. Like, it's funny, but, you know.
Yeah.
We've got VHS Viral, you know, the VHS that doesn't exist.
I just watched that like a month ago. Already gone again. I don't remember any of it.
Exactly, as it should. As it should. Spy Kids 3, Game Over.
What did you rate that?
I would put it at a 4.
Okay.
It's very campy.
It was.
I like the other two.
It was for its time. Okay. I watched that movie with the blue and green 3D glasses at the movie theater.
I'm sure I did as well. I realized, because I didn't see 2, which I guess is considered one of the better ones, but I watched some of the Evil Dead. I watched the Evil Dead, the first one. I've seen the Evil Dead, like the remake, whatever that the reboot. And I saw Evil Dead Rise recently. And I've come to the conclusion that I don't think they're for me. I guess I'm just not into campy horror.
Intentionally campy, you mean?
Yeah. Like, I understand it. I just don't think it's for me. Although, like I said, I haven't seen the second one. And then, like, I think I liked the remake the best. Yeah, I think it went less campy, more horror. I don't know. But yeah, because I watched Evil Dead Rise. And, like, it's got some cool... Have you seen Evil Dead Rise?
I haven't seen any of them.
I thought you saw all of them.
No.
What you were talking about? Or you just saw clips of them?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, regardless.
Keep talking, though.
Like, there's good...
I'll pretend I'm an expert.
Scenes that happen in them. I mean, also, I'm just not a huge horror person in general, but...
You're not a huge horror person?
I don't, like, I'm trying to get more...
If I had to say you were anything, you were a horror person.
I'm thriller, psychological thriller, which is horrifying in itself.
I guess.
I don't classify myself as a horror person.
You're kind of a horror person.
Okay.
You've
Fair
seen
enough.
all the Saw movies. If anybody would put themselves through parts of that, it'd have to be a horror person.
All right, yeah, you're right. But yeah, it's just campy horror, not for me.
Yeah, it's got to be serious horror. Yeah.
If I want a horror, I want to be immersed in the horror.
Horrored.
And obviously, the Evil Dead goes pretty over the top with like body horror and like unrealistic gore to the point where it's like kind of silly. And again, it's just I don't know. Not that I want it to look super realistic. Oh my god, it's really happening. But I don't know. Not for me.
Yeah, I feel it.
Not a campy person, and I also don't like camping that much. So maybe that's why. I mean, if I want to go camping, I want electricity.
Have an RV, if you've been camping, maybe try out Evil Dead.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, if you find yourself outdoors, intense a lot by a campfire.
Because it is pretty intense.
It is. So maybe give it a shot. Yeah, if you find yourself intense, you might find it intense. There you go. We nailed that one.
Beautiful. What about that one movie? I have no idea what it was called. We watched it together. It was a found footage movie because it was during the period when we were just watching found footage movies because we are, degenerates who are obsessed with found footage movies.
Yeah.
And they're in the plane or something and they crash and it's like some scary stuff, but it's very vague and we have no idea what's going on. It's just people are just scared and they're running around in the dark basically the whole movie.
Yeah.
But then there's dinosaurs, and that's the whole twist. Is that
just
it's dinosaurs
right at the end?
Yeah.
Let's see what you girls got on here.
And is that the one where like she hurts her
Yes.
arm or something? Yeah.
My arm.
Yeah, it's like a child.
Yeah.
Or a teenager maybe with the worst acting I've ever seen.
It's okay. We are not gonna die here. We're gonna go home.
Okay, good. I want to see Mom and Dad.
What would you rate that one?
I'm sure it's got to be on here, but I couldn't for the life of me remember what it's called.
Probably called like I remember it had
Something
a number
generic.
in it. I think it was like called like Area 58 or something.
What would I rate that? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. Why haven't you rated that?
Because that's another thing is like sometimes when it is unintentionally campy or bad, it goes up for me sometimes. Because like I said, Grave Encounter, I don't know the general consensus on Grave Encounter. And even some of the VHS, like VHS 2 is one of my favorites, favorite horror movies. But I think the general consensus is they aren't. Maybe if you're like a horror buff, you might like them. But as a general movie, people don't really like those. But I like them.
Well, it's because we're, like I said, we're found footage degenerates. And also anthologies are just, they're just too good.
Yeah. I mean, found footage is definitely, I mean, horror in general, but found footage especially is definitely the genre that's littered with the most garbage, bottom of the barrel. Because it's the easiest to produce.
Yes.
I could just hold my camera up.
Walk around your house with a candle.
Yeah. And then it's a movie. So it's like 90% of them are actual trash. And then there's the gems, which aren't like 10 out of 10s, but they're, and they're so unique because I find them to be more, when done right, of course, to be more like immersive and feel more realistic because it, feels like you're there as long as you can stomach the shaky camera.
Amazon Prime, were you there? Or maybe you weren't there, where like there's literally stuff on there like Roblox, Cops and Robbers, Funny Moments, 43, the movie. And they was
it Prime?
I think so. So you can get that stuff on there.
It's like it's a wild land out there.
Just Roblox videos. Some YouTuber just like.
Yeah, I don't know how it works. It's just like on loop. I think it's like different YouTube. It's just like a channel. Yeah, it's like a live TV channel of just YouTube videos on loop of various Roblox. It's weird. And I mean, hey, if I had a child that was into that, or myself, I'm into that. I like obbies.
Wait a second, Tyler. So the movie I was talking about was called Area 407.
Area 407.
First thing that came up 4 years ago. Area 407 found footage dino horror flick somehow gets a sequel.
Yeah, I just part 2.
Part 2.
Well, now I rated it a 3 for reference. We gotta watch the sequel. What?
Directed by Zombie Strippers' Jay Lee.
And it's got that same damn girl. Thank God.
It's her face. Like the trailer. It's just the picture of her face. Like
Abigail Schrader. No hate.
Oh, look at that cover. You said movie posters were bad. Look at this one, man. Come on.
That's pretty solid.
That's
for part
printable.
2. That's not bad. This is like zombie arms. Is there zombies?
Yes,
now
there's
too?
zombies in this now.
Wow. That T-Rex, they didn't even try to blend it at all. Just shove the PNG on there.
It's a blurry plane. It's one of those blurry planes.
Wow.
Don't think about it.
But it goes right back to the point. They're so easy to make that even these movies, they can get a sequel.
I still think found footage is cool, though. It's what gets me the most immersed in the movie.
The good ones are really good and enjoyable, like certain VHSs, Cloverfield,
Wreck,
Chronicle. Even though it's not horror, it could be horror in some ways, but Wreck. Chronicle, Wreck, yeah. Like there's good ones. Then there's like the middle ground
activity
that are still enjoyable. There is a small subsection that's just like not interesting, not entertaining, just complete garbage. But then you go even lower to your Area 407s where it comes back around to being an enjoyable,
remember the one we
experience.
rewatched about like there's like a monster that lived in like the tunnels.
Oh, The Tunnel?
Yeah, very creative title.
Yeah.
So there's that one, or As Above, So Below.
Yeah.
I would say fits into the middle category where it's like not like trash. There's a couple like 3 minutes of kind of cool stuff, but mostly trash.
Yeah, there's some good, like they always, a lot of them have a good idea or like, because a lot of times it's like, and then the ending, it goes like, wow, that's where all their budget went. And so that's always, exactly. I always wait for those moments because that kind of makes or breaks it. Because a lot of times the beginning, it's, like you heard a sound in the distance. Or someone disappeared.
Blair Witch. That's the first one.
Yeah. Nothing really happened. Like even the ending, nothing really happens. But it's like
the perspective that makes it scary
and
immersive.
because you're so immersed. Yeah.
If Blair Witch was filmed with static cameras in the woods,
it's just a fun genre.
There was a certain period of time where we were just watching every found footage movie we could find.
Yeah. Probably at least once a year, I Google like found footage that came out just to see if there's anything I missed that's at least somewhat worth it. And I'll usually watch one or two if I missed them.
But a lot of people would think that we're We're dummies. We're bad
For liking 'em?
For liking them. They think it's like a one-off, like a gimmick that was cool for like one movie, but now it's like
Yeah.
just trash. Like, oh, if there's not real cinematographies.
I mean, sometimes it is
my
trash,
horror.
but
Yeah.
but it's just fun, and they're creative and they the good ones take advantage of the medium of being handheld,
Yeah.
like they really
Well, I
that's
think
a
it's
part of the
I think it's funny because like
enjoyment.
it went away, but it kind of I feel like has come back in other ways because like now on YouTube, I feel like there's this whole like subsection of really popular videos like analog horror. It's like supposed to be VHS stuff and like found footagey kind of things where it's like so people like it.
Yeah.
They just don't want to admit they like it, or they don't like it in movie format, or I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think at least in part it's due to people got tired of Paranormal Activities and stuff because like when it came out, it was the biggest thing.
They
I think
milked it so hard.
if not the top, it's in like top 5 of like smallest budget to biggest reward in terms of gross. It was a phenomena. But then it was like yearly they were making them and
It
more
just
or less
became gross.
progressively. Exactly. You earn your gross and get out. Otherwise, you become gross yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Classic.
It's
movie
like
curse.
live long enough to see yourself become the villain kind of thing.
Long enough, live long enough to see yourself become the gross.
Those are the lessons that we teach you
Hot
here
directing tips.
on this podcast. All right. Let's take a break. Go to our sponsors.
Today's episode is sponsored by Fruit Gushers. They still make Fruit Gushers, of course. Thanks, Fruit Gushers.
We appreciate you.
I ate you a lot when I was a small boy. Thank you for filling my lunches.
The things we eat.
Do they still make Scooby-Doo fruit snacks?
I mean, they're the only fruit snacks worth eating, so I hope so.
I hope so.
Just any fruit snack that's not translucent.
Yes.
Like it has to be solid.
It's a little milky or something. I don't know what it is.
They're so
What's the
good.
difference?
I don't know. Why don't they make them all like that? They're
Honestly,
so good.
we got to bring it back. Like, they made like, they do that with certain things like, oh, oops, all marshmallows are like,
Yeah.
we need that, but with the white Scooby-Doo fruit snacks.
Exactly. I mean, I do like just I think it's Welch's, like the fruit ones.
Yeah, well, those are good too.
Yeah.
Of course. That's the only other one that's like,
Yeah.
okay,
The rest are, forgettable. Those are the only ones I would buy myself.
They actually have different flavors rather than like sugar,
Yeah.
blue sugar.
Those peach ones be hitting.
I know, right?
I'd be eating them and I just pick out the peach ones so I could just have a mouthful of peach at the end.
I love a mouthful
So
of
good.
peach.
That's what I'm saying. Who doesn't?
Holy.
Who doesn't want a mouthful of peach, baby?
We should just have a fruit snacks podcast, honestly.
Hey, yeah.
We try different fruit snacks every week.
Yeah. I mean, that'd probably last a good... I'm sure there's a lot of brands, a lot of
fruit
different
snacks.
ones. A lot of fruit snacks. We could do that. I got the budget for that.
Okay. We do that every break. We have a different fruit snack and just try one.
There you go.
We rate that too. Rate a movie, rate a fruit snack.
There you go.
Something for the kids. We got to bring in the youth audience,
Yeah, we want to appeal to
Right.
all age groups.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we go on Amazon and get some like freaky German fruit snacks or something.
Amazon Basics fruit snacks.
Oh, God. I hope that's not a thing.
They make everything, man.
Yeah, we got to try
Candies
all of
and
the
stuff.
different, grocery store ones. Oh, great value fruit snacks.
Okay, so regardless, we need to take a break. We need food and all that
Yeah,
jam. So
with jam.
So
How about this?
hit me with the
We-
wisdom.
The what?
The wisdom.
Why don't we go?
Yeah. Workshop it. Yeah. Get the.
And we'll come back.
You lost me at the last. One more time. What's going on? Hold on. No. One step at a time. Hold on. First. I don't think you did that the first time.
Oh,
One move at a time.
We might add steps.
One move. What's the first step here? That's still another gun. You're like putting the bullet.
It's not
in
a
the
gun.
like a
No,
musket.
it's not a gun. It's the idea
Oh,
being compressed to get all the
we
juice
want the
out.
ideas flowing. Oh, like okay, creative juices like
Out of
okay,
the idea.
expelling.
Yes.
Okay, so we can slurp them up.
Yes.
Okay. What was the rest of it?
And we sand it down,
okay.
make it nice and shiny.
Smooth, yeah.
So we have a diamond at
Presentable.
the end of it.
Okay.
And then
We're going to drill into the diamond?
it's like a diamond because you have to cut it. It's not just like, oh,
Yeah.
you have a raw diamond. You have to like...
Uncut gems, dude.
Uncut gems. Cut gems. Cut gems.
I hope you're enjoying the podcast. This is the time where we would insert sponsors and things of that nature, but unfortunately, we don't have those. So if you want to sponsor us, feel free to reach out. And I'm not even talking companies or brands. I'm talking about your grandma, or you just want to shout out your dog's Instagram. Like, literally just Venmo me $5 and you could be here. I could be talking about you right now. I think for now, I'm just going to shout out my cat, Isaac. He's the sponsor. He's the sponsor of today's episode. Say hi, Isaac. So thank you to Isaac for sponsoring this podcast. I really appreciate you. Use code Isaac when you're purchasing a cat from anywhere, and you should get 10% off your order. Other than that, be sure to follow us on all social medias. We can be found at Off Angle Pod. But seriously, shout out to any of you guys that are listening right now. You're the true sponsors. If you're hearing this, especially episode 1, thank you so much for the support, whether you're here because I asked you to be here, or maybe you found us down the road and wanted to start from square one. I really appreciate it, and hopefully you will enjoy the show. If you have any suggestions for movies, topics to discuss, or just fun things we could do with the podcast, let us know. I think I've rambled enough now. Let's head back into the episode. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Off Angle Podcast.
Previously unnamed.
Previously unnamed
Now
in episode 0.
it is named.
The Off Angle Podcast.
Why off angle, Tyler?
Well, because angles, you got to get the right angles. Usually, that's what they want.
Yeah.
They want to get the right angles, get the right framing.
Right.
But
Right.
with us, things are a little off.
It's a little off.
It's a little
Right.
off.
Okay. Right.
Because we discuss all the angles. Things are just a little off. We're a
Right.
little,
So it's
little
both
weird.
like a camera angle from a director's point of view, but
Yes.
also from a like film discussion point of view, the angles at which we attack the films.
Yes. And also, in general, sometimes it helps to look at things just a little different. A slightly different perspective on things. We're going to give you the insights that maybe no one else would.
And
We're
also,
gonna
if our
look things a
camera
little
is
different.
ever slightly tilted, it's
It's
on purpose.
branding.
It's
Yeah, exactly.
part of the experience.
Yes, we can attribute it to the name. It's not our own failures. It's
It's a new
marketing.
immersive filmmaking techniques. Okay?
Exactly. They just don't understand. Just in general, though, is there anything non-movie related recently, maybe past couple weeks, that's been exciting for you, that you've seen, that you've heard? Just, anything you've been wanting to talk about since we came up with the idea? Because we haven't talked since we said we should do a podcast.
I played Starfield.
Nice. With your Starfield controller, I presume?
No.
Oh, well, okay.
With a mouse and keyboard because I'm not a...
How is it, though? Because I've
Degenerate.
heard
It's
mixed
exactly what you think it would be.
feelings. Okay.
It's exactly what you have read. Not any specific comment, but all of it together is exactly, all of them are correct. In that there is amazing things and there is absolutely stupid, ridiculous things. It is
Yeah.
firmly like a 7. And I
Okay.
say that having put like 100-something hours in it.
Yeah, I was
It's
going to say, it
firmly
seems
a
like a lot of people are like, well, the first 10 hours were pretty bad. But once I got to hour 50, best game I've ever played.
You would think, but no, there's a lot of bumps in that road. It's but
And
it's
I've
one of those
heard-
things of sure once it gets mods and blah blah blah, then it'll be
Yeah,
fine.
I mean, I don't have it, but I am excited about, because obviously Skyrim and stuff is
Yeah.
one of the most modded games of all time. So I'm assuming people are going to do the same thing. Yeah. Is it, because I don't know what happens, but I know people say that like the ending, like once you beat the game, that's basically just the beginning. And that's when
no
things really start.
No. They're lying.
Okay.
They're lying. I know everything that there is to know about after the ending. They're
Okay,
lying.
all right. Look at
They're
you
lying.
over there.
Because I'm not going to spoil anything, but no. Yes, stuff does go on. Is it worth the time at all? No. You're going to finish the game and you're going to go, whoa, there's more for like 3 hours, and then you're going to be done.
Obviously, if there's mods, you will. But like, are you still, you're actively playing it now, or you put in your hours? You're good.
It's done.
Okay.
By the time I was done with it, I
did it
never
all.
wanted to see it again.
Okay. You just
Yeah.
no life it until. You beat
Well,
it up.
yeah, it's that kind of game.
Yeah,
where
yeah, for sure.
It was fun until it wasn't fun, and now I don't want to play it anymore for a year or two, and then I'll come back to it in 2027 when it has a bunch of mods, and I'll do another playthrough, and it'll be fun.
I still don't know if I can get into those. Like, I haven't.
I wouldn't recommend.
Yeah, well, just in general, not even Starfield, but
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
can't. I've tried to be better with myself, not with just games, but anything of at least finish. I have maybe like 3 things. Like, there's 3 things I'm watching at the same, 3 shows I'm watching, and 3 games I'm playing.
Yeah.
But like, I try to limit it to that until I finish one before I pick up another.
Yes. Yeah.
Trying to be more conscious because otherwise, I'll never finish anything.
Other than that, I've been rewatching My Hero Academia.
Okay.
Thea, because hadn't seen that. So we're on the middle of season 5.
Nice.
It's a show.
And what is it? 6 seasons? I mean,
There's
I've seen
6
them all,
now.
just
I haven't
forget.
seen the 6th one.
Yeah.
So about to get into stuff I haven't seen.
Nice,
and then there's
nice.
another season already announced, and that
Yeah.
might be the last one? Question mark.
Yeah,
So,
I think so.
yeah.
But-
There's discussion. But it's good.
Yeah.
It's not amazing. There's a lot of stupid stuff, but
Yeah.
it's good. It's fun.
Yeah, I've definitely, like, it has some really high highs.
Yeah.
Has some really, like, jaw-dropping moments, some cool, especially the animation in some areas is really good, but then some of the, because it's all, every season is broken into kind of 2
Yes.
stories, and
Yes.
usually whatever the, not main story is rarely interesting, and you have to wait or just get through
The
it 'cause
filler
nothing really
episodes are
happens.
very filler.
Yeah, correct. So it's hit or miss. But when it hits, it hits. There's some cool stuff. Because I was thinking about this the other day of what's your relationship with shonen anime? Because I feel like Hunter and My Hero are the only. Well, Hunter x Hunter is the only one you've seen in its entirety.
Yes, correct.
Right? That's shonen.
Mostly, yeah. I think so. I mean, there's probably a few that there are like 1 season that I've seen, or maybe 2 seasons, but
Yeah.
I haven't kept up with,
But in terms of like the big boys,
yes,
you haven't seen
most
any
of them, I have seen them through you showing me
Yeah.
clips.
Correct. Because I think you've, like, without a doubt, seen more anime, like, in terms
Yeah.
of, like, titles.
Yeah.
But I've probably seen
More
as much
episodes.
or more
Yeah.
episodes than you, which is
Probably.
always interesting. Because I've seen, at least in some capacity, all of the top ones, the big boys. Just because with anime, I go to shonen because it's the one thing I can't get from other media, because they usually do action very well, and even if it is very stereotypical and there's a lot of tropes with shonen anime, it's like I've still never seen anything live action or cartoons or anything that has better action than some of the best action from shonen animes, and that's usually where I go to them. I did it though. I made a mistake, not a mistake, but like I'm in now. It took I think 180 episodes, literally.
Oh no, I know what you're
But I'm in there.
I know what you're gonna say.
I'm watching One Piece.
Yeah.
Legitimately.
Dude, tell me about Gear 5, bro.
No, well, see, that's the thing. So because, everyone talks about One Piece. It's one of the only ones still ongoing that's like, it's still one of the most popular things. Ongoing manga. It's still going. I was like, I've never given it a try. I'll at least give it a try.
Yeah.
Even though it's 1,000 episodes. I'm like, whatever. And so I watched everything that was, I think, on Netflix or Hulu or something that was available at like slightly increased speed.
Yes,
And it just
of
wasn't
course.
clicking. It wasn't clicking. But I watched it all. I think it was like 120 episodes or something that was available on there. And then I dropped it. And I didn't really feel like picking it back up. Because everyone was like, you got to get to this arc. You got to get to, it was Arlong Park. You got to get to Arlong Park. That's when it hits.
Yeah.
Which is like 80 episodes in or something. And I was like, okay. So I got there. I was like, it was okay.
Yeah.
Like, it had some good story stuff. I expected it to be like the other ones I've seen with like crazy action or whatever. Not that it didn't have action, but it wasn't the same. And then they're like, well, if you didn't feel Arlong Park, it's actually like 1 or 2 down. It's this other arc, Alabasta. That's the one. That's where you'll know.
Okay.
And it was good, but I still wasn't into it. And like, he fought the big bad guy, and it wasn't great. And I was like, all right, whatever. And that's where it ended, and I stopped. But then there was posts, of like, oh, Luffy just hit Gear 5. And I'm like, I don't even know what Gear 2 is. This is sick. I love transformations. I love power-ups. So I was like, maybe I'll just go to where Gear 2 is, or I'll see if I'll keep going. And then there's an arc, the Skypiea arc, or Jaya and Skypiea. It's like episode 180. It finally clicked, and I realized why people like One Piece.
Okay.
And it's just about, like, it genuinely has some of the best, like, world building I've ever seen. Like, every arc is in a completely new place with characters that they actually take time to flesh out, and an interesting story. that's why people are watching in the fights and stuff, like why they're fighting.
Yeah.
The reasons behind the fights. That's why people are into it. So I was in for the wrong reasons, and now after that they have something called One Pace, PACE, where basically because the pacing in One Piece is terrible, the anime,
yes.
so they cut it. It's like a fan project where they cut it to match the manga pacing.
Okay.
And you can save it, cuts it down by like 45%. It's like
Wow.
a dramatic number. So I've been
Actually
watching
reasonable.
that. And so I think anime equivalent, I'm on like 280 or something, but it's not bad.
Damn.
I don't know if I'll go all the way through it, but I'm in pretty deep at this
thought it
point.
happened.
So
Never thought it would happen.
now I have 2 potential propositions, one or the other for you. One's a much larger endeavor, but because 2 things that I grew up with, 2 things that I love, I enjoy, are coming out with their final whatevers this year, before the end of the year.
Okay.
So one is Red vs. Blue has its final season,
Oh fuck.
but the other one is Attack on Titan is ending this year.
Is it okay?
Legitimately,
Is it ending? Because
It's actually
literally,
ending
I
this
remember
time.
actually like 4 years ago, somebody's like, Attack on Titan, its final season, it's finally
It
here.
was its final season. Now they split the final part into 2 movies. The first movie came out earlier. Second one, I think it's November.
Yeah.
But it's legitimately.
Yeah. I am down to watch that because last time we had talked about it, you said you wanted to rewatch it
Yes.
with me or whatever, which I've always been interested in. I watched the first season of it. That was the first anime I ever actually watched, start to finish. Was the first season of Attack on Titan.
Yeah, but I definitely want to rewatch it because I don't know how it ends, the manga, or how. Obviously, the anime isn't over, but I don't know how it ends genuinely, even though it's been over for a while in the manga. So I'm avoiding that. I don't want to be spoiled. I can imagine.
I know how it ends.
But
It
There's
zooms
Titans.
out, and the Titans are normal size, and then there's another. There's a Titan.
dude,
Like the Titans are just like at table, like eating sandwiches or something, and then there's a big Titan that comes out.
deep. It's never over. There's always a more
And
colossal or Titan.
that's why it's called Attack on Titan.
Yes. I also realized looking at my IMDb/Letterboxd, I think it obviously it's not like I've actually documented every movie I've ever seen, but I'm like a year from now, I think I might be hitting the 1,000 mark. I think that needs to be something. I need to either save a movie that's already out for my 1,000th movie. I don't know. Like,
Or
it's a
you
big
want it to be
milestone.
special.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not actually your 1,000th movie.
But like 1,000th documented movie.
Documented.
Okay, I don't remember everything I saw as a kid, or I'm sure I missed a couple.
Yeah,
along
you
the
definitely missed a couple. How about The Room? Have you actually seen The Room?
way. I don't think so. I've seen the other thing.
Disaster Artist?
Yeah, The Disaster Artist.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've actually just sat down and watched
I
the
definitely have not.
So maybe that'll be my 1,000th documented movie. Yeah. Something I did see recently though was Saw X, baby.
I heard it's good. I heard it's actually good for some reason.
It was for a Saw movie. It was good because the general consensus, there's like slight ebbs and flows, but more or less they get worse as they go on.
Yeah.
But nothing came close to the first, like 1 or 2, because the first one's like genuinely just like a good movie.
Yep.
Second one's not an improvement, but it like starts to really find the formula and is good. Like it's still good. And then it starts to devolve from there, and they come up with all these weird twists and try to like tie things back to the previous movies, and there's flashbacks, and it's very convoluted.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one was definitely a return to form, and it was pretty enjoyable. It's not better than the first, but I would rate it like a 7.
Are they gonna make more?
That's what it seems like. Because I think every single Saw...
What the hell else are they gonna do?
I don't know. Because this one takes place after Saw 1, I think. Before Saw 2, or maybe it's between 2 and 3.
Hasn't there been like 4 movies that did that already?
No, there's always flashbacks that add like a little scene.
Okay.
But
Like, this person actually just started helping him between Saw 2 and 3.
They
and
always
this person
do that.
actually, between Saw 1 and 2, was doing... Yeah.
Yeah. Thankfully, this one didn't add any new, like, this guy's also his
Yeah.
apprentice and working for him and helping him out. Like, this could have like I could see this fitting into the timeline, thankfully. And it also focuses on John Kramer, like the main character, rather than, I mean, obviously it has victims and has traps, but it focuses on him as a character.
You want to make a puzzle?
Do I want to make a puzzle? Not even solve, like make a puzzle.
You want to draw a puzzle and print it out and cut it into little pieces.
That sounds like hell. That does sound like a trap.
But that's another thing that I haven't seen any of the movies, but I've seen all of the traps because you showed me all of the good ones.
Yeah. Yep.
And I've seen like one or two throughout, but yeah.
Yeah. You know what? Like there's, torture porn, as they call it.
Yeah. I think you're in it for the thrill factor.
Yeah.
I feel like you're in it for the,
Oh shit, what would I do if I was in that situation?
Yeah.
Would I be able to carve my eyeball out?
Yeah, I always try to think of like, if I was in that situation, would I be able to do it? How much would this suck? I don't think I could get out of any of them.
Yeah.
I'm a little baby boy.
yeah,
But
definitely.
maybe if my life was on the line. 10 movies, man. 10 movies. And I will watch them all.
Yeah, but
I
like
will
how
eat
many
up.
how many series are there that have 10 movies that need 10 movies? Okay, the first one that came to my mind, Saw X,
Yeah.
is Fast X.
Yeah.
We don't need Fast X. We don't need Fast Half X. We don't need Fast 5.
I
okay?
think the last Fast and Furious is like being split in 2 movies or something. Before that one comes out, I'm gonna binge them all.
you're gonna become the fastest and the furiousest. Okay.
And if you like, you don't even have to watch them, and I'll just describe. I'll
watch them. I'll watch
Okay.
them. Hell yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure it's trash, but I liked the first couple of movies.
Yeah.
When I was younger.
I mean, I know it just gets more and more absurd, and that
Just becomes
like,
action,
yeah.
nothing.
which hey, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'll watch that. I was gifted randomly Ashley's grandma because she just let her know that I like movies, so she gifted me. She gave me a Super Mario Bros. Movie, which is fine. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
But then Fast 9 or whatever it's
Okay.
called.
Yeah.
Because that was the most recent one that was out on Blu-ray.
F9.
So, F9. Yeah. So we'll start there. We'll watch them in reverse order.
Be cool if there was like a watch order, but it's not. It's just
It's
linear.
just
But it would be cool if it wasn't.
Yeah.
Because I always like when people. Is it Star Wars? Because what's the order that people? There's an order that people like, and it has a name.
Yeah.
It's called machete order. Star Wars 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, and then 6, 7, 8.
4. Okay. So they don't include 6. Okay.
Well, they do 6 way later.
Yeah. Because usually I assume it's just release order. I wonder why they. Okay.
Because that's not release order, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just like that as a cool name.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. I haven't
why
seen
is it
all
even
the Star
called
Wars
that?
movies. I don't know.
What's the
I don't
name
know
for it?
enough about Star Wars. I
They
don't.
cut it up and rearranged it. I mean, it's
True machete order. Anyway, there needs to be more watch order names,
Yeah.
please.
Well, I'll make one for Saul.
Because there's probably is like some of the Saws are prequels, right?
Yeah.
Or like in betweens. Mm-hmm. So you need
Some funky business.
not machete order. You need like Saw order.
Saul.
Seesaw.
I've seen
Seesaw order.
Saul. Yeah,
Okay.
Seesaw order.
I feel like some people would fight you on liking it as much as you do.
I mean, I'm not gonna say everyone should like it. I know it's not for everyone.
Yeah. I like the first one. I don't think I would like all of them. I think I'd be
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm bored.
Because I like twists. There's always a twist of.
Yeah, but when there's
varying-
always a twist, there's never a twist.
But Tony, when that music hits,
What's the music?
Tony,
Do the music for me. No, don't look it up. Do it for me.
It goes. Da-na-na, da-na-na, da-na-na-na-na. It's got like it's got this like ticking sound and like all these and then it goes. Bwah, bwah, bwah,
Okay. I wasn't feeling it before. I'm starting to get into it.
bwah, bwah. But then the background so. Da-na-na, and then go. Da-na-na, da-na-na-na-na.
So they do that every time there's a twist
Right when the
coming?
twist starts coming. Yeah, at the end of the movie, it's always like.
It really is. It's like, hey, everybody, just so you know.
Games the whole time. But really, you are the game. My baby was Jigsaw the whole time. Yes.
Oh, my God.
That's Saw, baby. That's Saw. That's Saw, folks.
It should be Jigsaw coming on the screen and saying, that's all, folks.
Yeah, whenever they actually end it. Pretty much whenever Tobin Bell, knock on wood, whenever he actually passes away in real life, Jigsaw, the guy who plays Jigsaw, that's when they have to end it, right? In
maybe
theory,
not.
Then by that point,
They will
can
literally
CG him
dig
in
out
there.
his corpse
Yeah.
and just have him in the background.
Where's in my pocket? Oh, I forgot about that.
Show the
Atlantic
camera.
City. I was in Atlantic City.
Whoa.
Yeah. I saw John Mulaney, Pete Davidson, and John Stewart.
Did you mix up John Oliver and John Stewart?
They're
John
Johns.
Stewart.
It was the John and Pete
John.
show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Also saw Neon Trees last week.
What's all the neon trees? What happened? Where did that come from?
What do you mean?
You did neon trees at the karaoke.
Oh, well, I mean, I genuinely listened to animals.
Yeah, okay,
and
but I haven't heard you talk about neon trees.
I
in 12
listen to
years.
animals, but no, it's because Ashley likes
Okay.
neon trees a lot. She's seen them before,
Okay.
and knows their older albums really well.
Okay.
So
you had already
and
planned.
they were touring. They started touring. We're like, oh, we should go to that, and then so I was listening to them more.
So you had already
to
had
prepare.
the ticket when
Yes.
we were at. Okay.
Correct.
Thoughts connected.
Yes,
I see.
Yes, but I didn't know the songs. I knew Animals. I knew Everybody Talks, but that was pretty much it. Maybe I've heard some of their other stuff.
Yeah,
on the
I remember
radio,
we were into them at a time.
because they were
Yeah.
huge. But the day of the concert, I added 20 other most popular songs, and as well as recent songs, and it was just on loop the whole day, so I could just at least ingrain the choruses.
Yeah.
And it worked. It worked well. I was
Cool.
able to sing along to most of the songs. It was good.
Cool.
He's a good. They're good performers, and Tyler Glenn, I think is his name, the main singer. He's a good performer. He's a good time. It's a fun time. I also started wearing earplugs finally to shows.
Hell yeah. Okay.
Because we went to that Madion show. It was a DJ set.
Yeah.
And I was fine for most of it, but when Madion comes on, they cranked it even higher, and it was to the point where I'd have trouble even deciphering the music, and I was like, I can't do this.
Smart
anymore.
man.
So
Smart man.
I don't want to have tinnitus or anything. I already listen to my music too loud probably anyway, so might as well save my hearing. But
Good idea.
yeah, it was good.
Good man.
But he plays this whole DJ set, which I'll go through some of the songs he played because he had a good set list. But
Yeah.
at the end, he said I'm so glad you guys were here. Thanks for coming out. Da da da. I got one more song for you. I'm gonna play the best song in the world. I'm gonna play the best song ever made. What do you think it is?
Is it a song I know?
Yes, 100%.
Based on Madion, I have to say it's going to be okay, this probably isn't what it is, but what I want for my headcanon is for it to be Michael Jackson, Man in the Mirror or something. Because, he's got his things. He looks kind of Michael Jackson-ish
Yeah.
with his get up and his hat and his cape, and he's got some kind of weird vibes.
This is the best song, according to Madion, best song ever made.
True.
I was having a good time when I hear that. I was like, yeah, it was so good.
But did he play that because...
It was September.
Okay, but was it that day?
It wasn't the 21st.
What day was it?
It was a couple days before. I don't remember. It was the 18th or something. It was close. I was upset. Did I mention I watched the movie Climax? I don't know.
No.
But do you know what Climax is?
No.
Okay. I think YMS did just a quick video on one of his quickies or whatever. That's one of the most anxiety-inducing movies
My
I've
favorite.
seen.
Uh-huh.
It's just the thing is, French dancers gather in a remote, empty school building to rehearse on a wintry night. The all-night celebration morphs into a hallucinatory nightmare when they learn their sangria is laced with LSD.
Okay.
And so it's an hour and a half, hour and 37 minutes. And it opens with I think a 5-minute uncut take of a dance number or something, because they're dancers. They're all dancers. Then it has a couple scenes these people talk, it cuts, these people talk,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. Then once it hits, I think we're on LSD. People are tripping.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's hidden cuts, but it's literally a 45-minute
Oh, shit.
long take
Yeah.
going through all. There's so much happening, so many characters, so much going on. Someone catches on fire. There's people screaming. There's some trigger warning for self-harm. There's so much that happens, and I don't want to imagine how they coordinated that and the camera work.
Yeah.
And it's just nonstop, and everyone's like, there's crying and screaming and fighting, and
Yeah.
it just doesn't stop.
Incredible.
And when it was over, I'm just exhausted.
Yeah. Kind of sounds horrible.
It was
but also
mentally
good.
draining. Yeah, I mean, I give it like a 7, but it's. I don't know if I'd watch it again, but it's something
Something
to
experience.
watch. The only part I skipped over, because it takes a while before things happen, but it's like a top down shot of like a dance circle, and so they keep taking turns. And again, that's like 5-minute uninterrupted take of people dancing, which 5 minutes doesn't sound like a lot, but 5 minutes
Just dancing.
just literally watching people dance. It's strange, but it's a movie. It's once it hits the climax, it's something.
I think the whole movie's the climax.
Hey, that's deep. It's something. All right.
It's kind of cool how they did that, though.
Yeah.
How they did the dancing scene, because they showed it from kind of a off angle.
There we go. That's the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. That's the podcast. Episode 1. Before we go, is there anything before the next one that is there something we should recommend? Something we want to watch, whether it's in theaters or just something in general we've been wanting to see so that we can consume it before next time. Let me take a look at what I've added recently. Seeing what is out.
Probably going to watch Skinamarink just because,
Yeah.
heard things, good things, weird things. Just
Okay.
want to experience.
You can watch Skinamarink.
It's a little spooky. We're in spooky times.
Yeah, spooky movies. But I hear the best way to watch it is alone at night, even like on a laptop or something, is almost more immersive.
Okay. Well, that's where I watch most of my things on a laptop, so.
There you go. So we'll watch it alone in the dark.
Yeah.
And we'll report back. But all right, Skinamarink.
Skinamarink.
All right, well that's the Off Angle podcast, baby.
We did it.
We did it.
We did it.
We
made the podcast.
We did the podcast.
That was it. We did the podcast.
All right, well thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening. If you subscribe right now.
Thank you for listening and liking and subscribing. Follow us on socials that definitely exist.
Off Angle Pod, probably. I don't know.
Give us a swing.
Add us on Pinterest.
Yeah.
Follow our Snapchat, and we'll hear ya in the next one.
You'll hear us in the next one.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Off Angle's been brought to you by Tyler and Tony, because we are the only ones that made this happen. But maybe that'll change in the future. Our theme music that you're listening to was created by Tony, as well as a random melody that came out of my mouth on the spot. Be sure to follow us on all social medias. We can be found at Off Angle Pod. We'll see you in the next one.